out of my bed. My back was really aching. My eyes were cherry red. It's just the morning after. I don't remember who was here. I'll eat a slice of that cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer. I got that not so fresh feeling from my head down to my toes. I think I had a good time. Heaven only knows it's just the morning after. Lord, it's funky up in here. Help me now, yeah. I'll eat a slice of cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer. Yeah, you got it now, hey.
Yeah, you got it now. Hey, welcome to the Morning After with JP and Big Joe. It's me, the boy, JP, joined as ever by my good man right to the side of me, Big Joe. How you doing, Big Joe?
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, doing very well. Glad to see you. We had a week off. It's back to be back. The what? It's good to be back in the saddle with you, my friend. Great to see you.
Saddle again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get down with that old Aerosmith, don't you?
I like a little bit of new Aerosmith, but yeah, it's all about the old Aerosmith.
What happened to Steven Tyler's voice? It seemed like around 1980 or something. It like turned into a different voice. Did he do a bunch of drugs and did it change his voice, or what happened?
I'm working on the theory that go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because Dream On, you know the song Dream On, that doesn't even sound like the Steven Tyler we know, does it? What happened to Steven Tyler?
I'm working on the theory that the quality of drugs changed. And so like maybe not so much the drug use, but maybe just his where he was getting his drugs started coming from a different part of the world, or who knows, but there was something that changed. And maybe the coke industry got more corporate or something. But it's just different times, man.
Okay, you think maybe the drugs got better or worse?
I don't know. It probably got worse. It probably got a little watered down and became corporate, or maybe it's a difference between Mexican Coke and American Coke. You go to the taco truck and you get the Mexican Coke that has the real sugar in there. Ooh, you can tell.
Right, of course, folks. He's talking about Coca-Cola. Is what he's talking about, right?
Well, yeah.
Do I have that right? Does your local taco truck serve cocaine?
Oh no, but they serve the bottled Coke. You have to get it.
Woo. Yeah, sugary. Mm-hmm.
With the white stuff, the real white stuff.
Now I'm confused.
Sugar.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Steven Tyler, and he loves Coca-Cola. He probably switched to Pepsi.
That's no joke. It's no joke about Mexican sodas. When the first time I had been to Mexico was, I don't know, a long time ago. But I got a Fanta, a strawberry flavored Fanta, and it tasted so. Oh, it was like I literally had to put water in it. Who does that?
I could see it though, because Fanta already, man, that's a real sweet, punchy drink. I remember the first time just even having it here. I can only imagine just like made the way that it's meant to be made.
The way it's meant to be made with all that good shit in it, all that sugar.
All the sugar.
Sugar. Well, Joe, also I meant to tell you, happy Valentine's Day, my friend.
Oh, when is that? Was that yesterday?
It's today, baby. It's the 14th, baby.
Oh.
Be mine.
Be my Frankenstein. No.
Wanna be my lover, wanna be my lover. Yeah. Do you, Joe?
There you go.
Anyway. Happy Valentine's Day, buddy. It's the 14th of February. I don't know, dude. Me and my fiance, we don't even. I don't know. I think both of us are like, oh yeah, it's Valentine's Day, and then it just passes. We don't do anything special. I'm okay with that. I think both of us kind of look at it as like a bullshitty kind of holiday. It doesn't feel like a real holiday. We celebrate it all the time. Know what I'm saying?
Right. Every day should be Valentine's Day.
Yeah. But we got ice cream last night anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, we feel like we did something. It was the Super Bowl yesterday too. Did you do anything for that?
Oh, who played?
You need to crack open the internet or watch the news and see what's
I
going
do,
on
but I
out
don't
there.
pay attention to that stuff.
Okay. Well, there was a football game on. It was very big.
Okay, all right.
I don't watch football personally, but when it comes around to Super Bowl time, I do end up watching the game. I don't know. It feels big. It's like a fear of missing out kind of thing. Maybe that's why I watch it. I don't watch a game all season, but then Super Bowl Sunday, I'm like, yeah, let's put that on.
I can see it. You got to know.
Did you watch
what
any of
everyone's
it?
talking about. No, I don't.
Not even
I don't watch it.
No curiosity.
I think the last time I used to go to Super Bowl parties, but I think it's been about 10 years since I even partook.
Yeah.
I'm just, football is. I'm not a huge sports guy, anyways.
Yeah.
And I would say baseball and hockey are the only ones that catch my attention when they do.
I see.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Also, we're 3 years no beers, the both of us. So Super Bowl party. Those things are just drunk tanks, really, right?
Yeah, if all my good homies had a party and hit me up and said, "Hey, we're having a Super Bowl party," I would get together with the homies for sure, and even throw around a football, But
I got news for you, man. Your homies, they did throw a party. And they didn't invite you.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was fucked up. Yeah.
It's probably for the best. There's a reason why people don't call me for parties, and
why do you say that?
Oh man, I'm a horrible partier.
Well, because you don't drink. I
turn into this mess and this shit show, and then I start drinking everything, and start knocking things over, and yeah, it's just not good.
I thought you might be a horrible partier because you refused to drink any of the beer.
Oh no, I think people would like that because I didn't drink all the beer. I think
good partier.
I think it became more of a fun time for them when I quit drinking.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. There was more to go around.
Oh, yeah. Call up Joe. He's got a car, and he won't drink the beer.
That's one thing that I definitely have done in sobriety is I try to be DD. I will give you a ride. It's in restitution to all the times that I've gotten a ride from you or anybody else, or all those times that I said I was going to be DD. And 10 minutes into it, I'm handing you my keys going like, I can't do it, bro. Sorry, man. Here you go. Take these from me. I'm like, fuck, now I got to sober up because Joe's gone.
Well, at least you were honest and you weren't like, no, I can drive. I'm good.
No, yeah. I knew the fight was coming. Well, yeah, no, I've done that too. But everyone knew it was coming. So, yeah, Joe's going to drive. That'll be the day. Well, guess what, motherfucker? The king is back.
Oh, shit. Well, guys, if you need a DD, Joe's your boy. Joe's your man.
Dude, I'll come give you a ride for sure.
You are the kind of guy that would do that. I feel like you'd just leave your house, drop whatever you were doing if someone called you and said, I needed a ride. That's the kind of guy you are.
What if you really did need that ride?
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. That makes me feel secure. We got some people in the chat. Good morning, Wellness of Madness.
Good morning.
Podcast. That's Coach Lore, good friend of the show. Cyber Sid.
Ooh.
Yes, what's up, dude? Man, this guy. Did you watch Premonition on the? Did you stick around long enough on Cliff Burton Day to watch Cyber Sid and his band Premonition play?
I did not.
Yeah, did a little pulling teeth. It was
that's fucking
dope. Yeah, just the stripped down Premonition lineup of just Sid and Omar. It was the pulling teeth lineup, just bass and drums.
The pulling teeth lineup of Premonition.
Yeah, the pulling teeth lineup. It was fucking sick, dude. People dug it too. People all up in the chat saying good stuff about my man. Good morning, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Yes, thank you guys for joining, baby. It's Valentine's Day. We've been gone for a week, so thanks for joining. I noticed that whenever we drop off for a week and we return, people forget about us. It's very boom, like that, like a fish, like Dory. Gone. Yeah, gone. But we thank you for joining us, those who did. Also, do you like the new URL, the new web address, Joe? Have you noticed we got a new web address? It's twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe.
Yeah, I like that. Only for one reason, because my name is in it. Yeah,
man.
Like I'm going somewhere in the world.
Why wasn't it in there before? Well, the reason was because I had an existing Twitch channel, and then me and Joe decided to make a chat show, and then we put it on that existing channel, and then I realized I don't really do anything else on this channel except the morning after, so we just switched it up. Too bad the morning after was already taken, and so was morning after TV, unfortunately. But hey, we're JP and Big Joe. That's how people know us. So twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe, the new home of the morning after with JP and Big Joe. Thanks for joining us, folks. Really appreciate it. The Young Pope TV, I think, might have been a little confusing to our viewers. They're like, what is this? Why can't I just go to twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe?
Oh, no, I kind of liked the Young Pope being our home network.
You know, I originally planned it to be sort of like a network, exactly as you said. There would be the morning after, and then some more shows in there, and it would sort of be a channel, as you said, like, the home of JP and Big Joe in the morning after, but it just didn't work out that way. I realized I don't have time to stream, so it's not viable. Is that the right word?
Well, I'm happy for the way that it turned out, because that's the way that it was supposed to be.
I love it. I love your shirt too.
Ooh.
Now, it's Madrost, or is it Madrost? I've spoken to Tanner many times, but I've never asked him this question before. I don't know how to pronounce the name of his band, and I feel terrible about that because I've been aware of it for about 10 years.
Yeah, I went with the first one, Madrost.
Madrost, yeah.
Yeah.
Goes well. Madrost. It's just clunky, right? Madrost is quicker.
It just sounds like it flows.
Yeah, it flows, and it's all about the flow, baby.
Well, sometimes it is.
Mm-hmm. And Joe, as per usual, you've got a pair of pink granny panties hanging from the the dresser. Pardon me, it's the little sack in which you keep the granny panties.
Right.
Yes.
That's my pink sack.
Oh. Oh, boy. Great. Well, it's great to have the pink sack.
Somebody's got to have it.
Someone's got to have it. What do you have in there? Is it what I think? Is it chonies?
It's just a pink sack with it's empty today. It's for all your storing needs if you need to store anything in there.
That is great. You should have stuff in there. That way, if for a topic of conversation, what's in the bag? And then be like, "Ooh, well, I'm glad you asked." And
what's in the bag?
Yeah, it's all about conversation starters. What's in the bag? What's in the box? That's from a movie.
Right.
Happy Valentine's
I've never seen that movie.
Day. Yeah, neither have I. I just hear people referencing it all the time.
No, I've seen that scene. Thank gosh for YouTube.
Yeah. You go on YouTube and watch scenes? I did today.
I used to a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized the other day when I was pulling up my YouTube app that I don't anymore. Like I kind of avoid YouTube. It's not, I don't know, it's just too hard.
Oh man, really? YouTube's my shit.
I don't know. I'm bored with it, and it takes forever, and then they're trying to advertise things to you, and you got 2 ads, and you got all these things, and I don't know. I'm starting to feel the same way about social media too. Like the people that I follow, I don't even get to see their stuff. It's all about the algorithm. You know, I'm only getting shown like people on my feed, the same people that I interact with, because now I'm part of this algorithm of things that I respond to, not things that I want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, they're making you look at stuff, you know?
Well, they want me spending more time on my tablet or my phone, more time on their site. So it's going to be things that you know, but I want to see everything. I want to see what everybody's doing. That's why I followed them.
Well, hopefully Joe doesn't follow you on YouTube, because he's not looking at your shit. Okay, Joe's done with YouTube. And by the way, if you're watching the show right now on YouTube, sorry about that.
Sorry, YouTubey.
Sorry, YouTubers. By the way, if you are watching the show on YouTube, thank you very much. We appreciate you watching the replays. Maybe you're watching live on YouTube. That happens too. I know Coach Lore watches live on YouTube. Very, very cool.
Ooh,
and if
you
were able
Lore.
to, yeah, shout out. And if you were able to find us on our new URL on Twitch, thank you so very much. Twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe. I got to get used to that. I almost said the last one. Okay. Joe, Thursday, February 10th, officially worldwide Cliff Burton Day.
Yeah.
That is a real thing, man. It got it's recognized by the county of Alameda. But as this thing continues to snowball, as it continues to get bigger, I get the feeling it's going to be soon a national thing, and then after that, a global thing. You know, that'd be cool, at least. Cliff Burton, of course, the legendary bassist, former bassist of Metallica. It's his day, February 10th, man. They made it official. And so they have a celebration hosted by the great Nick Gomez. Did you watch any of it on February 10th?
I got to watch, I'd say the first hour of it.
It was long. It was about 3 to 4 hours long. It was a while.
You know, yeah, no, I started it off, and then I had to work. You know, I ended up falling asleep on the couch watching it. You know, just trying to get up, and for the morning, you know, to get everything I need to do in the morning, I take some melatonin, and I'm out.
Yeah, good. Me too. That's what it's supposed to do. Get you right out. I take it too. It makes me dream too much. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but then I get these crazy dreams. I don't like my dreams. They're bad.
You know, I just switched brands, and it's not keeping me asleep.
Ooh. Well, we'll have to talk.
I know. I need to go switch back to my other brand. I think
let's
I switched
talk
to
off
Z-Quil.
the air, and let's compare melatonins, because I've got several different bottles back here, because I got sleep problems too, brother. Anyway, what the hell were we talking about? We were talking,
Cliff
of
Burton
course.
Day.
Yes, Cliff Burton Day. It was Thursday. It was hosted by the great Nick Gomez. Morning After alumni. I believe he was on episode 48, 40 something. It was recent. It was recent. Cliff Burton Day, we were sort of leading up to it. There wasn't much he could really talk about on the matter, although I was trying to get him to you know, give us a little insight on what was going to happen. Anyway, it did happen. It was great. It was a great event, and we've got Nick here with us in the studio to talk about it. I should have said that at the top of the show, but I got a little excited. But folks, Nick Gomez is here to talk about Cliff Burton Day. And we'll do a little recap on it. What do you say we bring him in, Joe?
Dude, I would love to hear that recap on Cliff Burton Day, because like I said, I haven't even had a chance to go and watch it all, because it is a huge deal. Cliff Burton's a huge freaking, I don't know, influence to not only me, not only the Bay Area, but the world, you know, and Nick got to help bring that to the masses.
He did. He's really pushing for it. So let's bring him in, and let's see what the hell's doing with this guy, huh?
See what's going on.
What's going on? With no further ado, folks, please welcome to the Morning After with JP and Big Joe, our man, Nick Gomez. How are you doing, my friend?
Dude,
happy Valentine's Day, boys. Right, getting you guys a box of melatonin for Valentine's Day today. Enjoy.
Thank you. Wow, you look great. You've got the Power Rangers in the background there.
Oh, that's actually a family photo.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, definitely
awesome. That's right. Okay. For Halloween, you guys were Power Rangers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You got that thing blown up, dude. Yes.
My aunt got us a blanket Christmas gift and has a bunch of cool photos, and boom, of course, Power Rangers.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I knew
Alexander right there.
Well, I know you're a big Power Rangers fan, so it wouldn't have been totally crazy to think that you had a massive Power Rangers banner back there, would it?
If you go downstairs in our living room, you might see a massive Power Ranger banner right above the couch.
There we go. Well, Nicholas, welcome to the show, my man. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. How are you doing, buddy?
Pleasure to be here. Doing great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You look great. You look great. Yeah, you tired?
A little bit. You know, definitely wake up super early in the morning.
Okay. Well, you had a busy ass week, man. You were if unless I'm mistaken, you were working, you were burning the midnight oil getting things ready for Cliff Burton Day up until like the last minute, weren't you?
Now, how would either of you gentlemen know that unless I was sending you Marco Polos at 4:30 a.m. being like, oh, dude, I'm not even done yet. I am not done
yet. You were sending me video messages really late, 4:30 in the morning, and you had that 4:30 in the morning voice. You know, you don't want to wake anybody up, and you're really tired, and it's like really low.
JP, I need you. Please help me, JP. You're my only hope.
It was great, man. It's nice to hear from you so early in the morning. So hey, man, Cliff Day. Actually, let's talk about when is this thing going to become global? What do we? This sounds like a weird question, right? But like, it started as a town thing, Castro Valley thing. It grew to a county thing. It's now recognized Alameda County-wide Cliff Burton Day. Metallica is sharing it, right? Like Metallica, well, that was crazy. Metallica shared the story, had your face in there. Your face was in Metallica's Instagram story. That's pretty cool. I mean, we're pretty close to making this thing a national holiday.
It's pretty close. I mean, people from all over the world, especially South America, are tuning in live to watch it. I mean, maybe we have to go to each government official in every country and be like, look, sir or madam, today is Cliff Burton's Day. Maybe that's what we have to do.
That's the sort of boots to the ground approach you might have to take to this thing, man. Wow, man. But it was huge. Thank you again for allowing me to be a part of the crew. That felt very fun. It felt nice to chat with Mike Borden a little bit, who is hanging out with us in the live in a live setting. How did you get to know Mike, Nick?
I think the first time I met Mike was Cliff Burton Day 1, but it was just like, hey man, I'm Nick. Thanks for coming. Like that super simple kind of thing. And then,
did you contact him about attending the first Cliff
No,
Burton, or
so
he just knew about it?
Robert Souza had his information and let him know. So
right.
But I think I started talking to him last year because he was like so involved last year with the live stream.
Yeah.
And since that, just a cool dude and super down to earth. And like you were saying, we just kind of watched the show with him and got his reactions and see the parts that really affected him when he would laugh and stuff. And it was cool because like the parts that I thought that he would enjoy, I like watch his little monitor on the bottom, and then he like laughs like sick. It worked.
No.
Yeah, he's I don't know. I don't want to say surprisingly nice because he didn't ever seem like he was rude or anything. But I don't know. Whenever you meet somebody who's like semi-famous and they end up being a really regular nice guy, it's like, oh, that feels good, man.
Exactly. And that was the cool thing about meeting like everybody else, like Charlie Benante especially, because I'm like such a huge Anthrax fan. Like literally, like we're talking like this, and I'm like, hey Charlie, check this out. Do you have one of these? And he was like, yeah. And then I was like, where is it? I dropped it, but oh, here we go. Like, Charlie, do you remember this? And he was like, dude, I made that. So it was pretty tight, dude. Like, because one, I'm a huge Anthrax fan, and the icebreaker, I had like an icebreaker for everybody because you don't want to get right into the conversation. But like, I was like, hey Charlie, thanks for joining us. Do you like Star Wars toys? And he was like, yeah, dude. And then just went off on Star Wars toys.
Did you know that about him beforehand?
I did, but only moments before checking out an interview, someone mentioned something about Star Wars toys, and I was like, dude, that's going to be the icebreaker right there.
Yeah, you need one. You don't want to just jump right into the conversation.
Let's talk about somebody you miss.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So Nick had edited this wonderful 5-6 part documentary about the early years of Cliff Burton. Well, not the early years, but sort of the early musical days of Cliff leading up to 1986. It was really, really comprehensive. You had some amazing guests in this sort of documentary that you directed, edited, and did everything for. Like, let's talk about Charlie. Actually, how did you snag Charlie?
I think I think Charlie came from Brian Liu. Brian Liu is Super 7, the dude who made the toys, and also the dude who was there for Metallica's first, like, everything jams and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I think he forwarded his information, which is really cool because on almost every year on stage I would be like, hey, everybody, I'm Nick Gomez. If you want to help a Cliff Burton Day, I really want to get Scotty in to be on the show. But that's just because Scotty is the voice of Anthrax, the face of Anthrax. But I never thought Charlie Benante. And I'm so stoked I got him because he was such a cool dude. It was like talking to a neighbor. And he was like super interested in talking with me. I can tell when I ask certain questions. You can even see in an interview, his face kind of like lights up and he goes, man, I'm just like reliving all these moments going to Lemoore, man. Thank you. I'm like, sick, dude.
Yeah.
Charlie Benante, legit.
There was a moment where you could tell he became reflective, and he says, like, this is really bringing back memories that I kind of forgot about. You know, just talking about this stuff. He mentioned how much it's memories are sort of returning to him as he you were jogging his memory, so to speak. With
I mean, most of these. I was asking him from 35 to 38 years ago questions about that stuff. So a lot of people were just like, dude, I don't know. I don't remember that. A lot of people came to the table with stuff they wanted to say. Cliff Burton was amazing. We did this. And then I'm like, cool, well, let's talk. Let's, what about this day? What about this day? And some people didn't even remember the specific day I was talking about because 35, 36 years ago.
Right. Wow. Well, yeah, you're right. Charlie seemed like an incredibly... He seemed so I don't want to say soft, but he seemed so tender when talking about Cliff. And we're not used to seeing these guys like that. So well done. What
I know about Charlie is, he plays these cool drums, and he was on Married with Children, to which I asked about. I was like, dude, let's talk about Married with Children. He was like, dude, that was like the sickest week of my life.
So you did ask him about Married with Children.
Dude, so of course the bulk of the conversation was Cliff Burton because I had, my agenda. But dude, we talked about Cliff Burton. We super talked about Anthrax. We talked about Star Wars. We talked about Book of Boba Fett. We talked about everything, dude.
Wow. Wow. How close now do you think you are to Scotty Ian now that you've inched in there with Charlie?
I mean, I love Scotty Ian, but
does it even matter anymore now that you got Charlie?
Exactly. I got Charlie. I mean, I Frankie Bello would be cool because then we'd have both bass player kind of perspectives from the 1986 tour. But dude, Charlie was like, he was up here. And the other dude that I super duper loved was Big Mick.
I was going to ask you about Big Mick. How did you? So Big Mick, if you don't know, he was Metallica's sort of early producer. Do I have that right?
He's the sound man, the board op for the live sound that everybody in the audience hears. So when you see the center stage go back, he's the dude right in the middle.
Okay, so that was it. Pardon me. Big Mick, sound guy for Metallica back in the early days, like, back.
I think up until now too. I mean, I've been to every Metallica show I've been to. He's always been there. So I don't know if it's now, but up until now at least.
He's the most jolly son of a bitch I'd ever seen.
He not to like jump straight to the the year 1986, but he didn't bring it to a somber tone. He made it so we all didn't get sad when he spoke about the tragedy. He was just like, he was me smoking buddy, and I gave him a piece of hash, and I know he smoked it, and I know he went high. And I was like, Mick, that's like, dude, did you say that at the funeral? Because that was going to give people a good chuckle, dude.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I wonder if
just
he
his
did.
Voice, the way he talks, like, dude, just keep talking to me, Mick, dude. I love.
Oh yeah, it's like warm butterscotch, hearing him talk.
What he said was when Cliff would go over to England in his area, the Castro Valley American accent would melt people's hearts. So he's like, it works both ways.
That's I'm glad you brought that up, Castro Valley accent, Joe. You know lots of people from Castro Valley. One thing I thought was fucking hilarious. That was mentioned on the Cliff Burton day. Dan R. He had a laugh about people from Castro Valley, and he said people from Castro Valley all sound the same. They all have that same fucking Castro Valley accent. Do you find this to be true, Joe, as you know many people from Castro Valley? Or is it just a Bay Area accent?
Yeah, I never even noticed a certain particular accent from you boys out there in Castro Valley.
No? Oh, I thought we had our own thing.
You might have, and just, sometimes those things are over my head, but if I don't know, just... I think I probably would have noticed, or maybe I was just so used to it,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time out there, so maybe it rubbed off on me too. Or it might have been a Bay Area thing.
Yeah, maybe you adopted it and didn't realize it.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's funny because not only did the fella Dan R say that too. After the event, I went on YouTube and I got on kind of a Faith No More kick because we were talking with Mike, and there was an interview with Jim Martin, so I was looking at Faith No More videos and I was looking at Jim Martin interviews, and there's a comment on one of the Jim Martin videos. It says, "This guy and Cliff Burton sound exactly the same." Like hearing them talk, they sound exactly the same. And then I'm like, yo, it's true. Castro Valley people, we have some kind of accent thing, man. It's fucking... It's so weird hearing people talk about Castro Valley too, Nick.
Isn't it though? Like, even to hear their Big Mick be like Castro Valley, you're like, talking about us, dude.
Isn't that weird? Because
it's weird.
You don't hear Castro Valley in movies or television or radio or anything. Nobody talks about Castro Valley, and to hear like people like Big Mick and just to hear people say the word Castro Valley makes me kind of like jump a little bit. Like, it's so weird. But
that's a part of the thing about Cliff Burton Day, though. It's like, it's not just Nick Gomez throwing it; it's Castro Valley throwing it.
Yes.
Like, one day it'll return back to the town and like be a live or in-person event. But it's the town throw. I mean, the town was the proclamation, which extended to the Alameda County. So that's why I put the drone footage in there and try to get like some street footage. If I had more time, the street footage would have been better and I would have more. But yeah, I definitely made sure that everybody spoke about Castro Valley, and they did it on their own too. And even the whole accent part, I had to chop that segment down. It was 10 minutes of them talking about the accent. It was 3 people talking about the Castro Valley accent. And I was like, I was trying to figure it out because I know what Cliff Burton sounds like, and I know what Mike Borden sounds like. It wasn't until I started listening to the Jim Martin interview, I was like, dude, there is a Castro Valley accent. I can only replicate it one time. And if you watch Cliff Amal on the segment where they're smoking weed in the Big Rigger Association, he says special. He says it just like that. And Jim Martin says the same way too. So the way Big Mick describes it as a kind of elegant hillbilly-ish talk. And it literally sounds like special. That's the best. That's when it comes out. Like when Canadians say, "Oh hey,
special."
Oh, and I had a dude. Okay, so I kept shout outing Canada Dave, a dude behind the scenes who was helping me out a lot in the editing. He would send me words of encouragement. He would send me photos, interviews, just anything, just there helping me. Like, hey man, how you doing today? And he was from Toronto, and I had to say, dude, keep talking to me in that Toronto accent because some of my best friends are from Toronto, dude. He's like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I've, we both, as you said, we both have friends from Toronto. But what I understand about Toronto, people from Toronto don't say, when they say it, they don't pronounce the last T. It's Toronto.
Toronto, okay.
If you hear, if you hear people from Toronto say Toronto, they don't say that last T. So if you want to get in with the Canadian folks, drop that second T.
Sean, get in here. We need to hear you say Toronto, Sean.
Yeah, man. I would love to. You did you say Sean, our homie Sean?
Sean.
Host of the Doing Baseball podcast, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
I love that guy. I've been meaning to have him and his co-host Edsy on the show for a long time. So thank you for reminding me. I wanted to bring up. You said you cut out a bit where they talked for 10 minutes about the accent, and then there was some funny Star Wars talk with Charlie. I think you mentioned during the broadcast that you were going to upload the interviews in full to your YouTube. Did you still plan on doing that, or are you going to cut some of the stuff still, or are you just going to upload the whole Big Daddies up there?
Each interview is 2 hours long, And I mean, some stuff, you say off the record, so I definitely got to chop some stuff out of there. I want to upload everything. I was asked.
2 hours is nothing, though. I watched a 3-hour YouTube interview just last week. Yeah.
And they're good. And it's like, okay, the amount of stuff I had to cut and put on the cutting room floor, it broke my heart because I already put it on the timeline. I already put it in order. But I was like, dude, the first cut was 4 hours by itself. And I was just like, man, I can't have this. And I knew that we were going to have the additional like Ruby calling in and stuff like that. And I was like, it has to be 3 hours. I wanted it to be 2, but like I couldn't just keep cutting stuff. So there's so much more good stuff in there that got cut that I want to put in there. And I will. And I'll probably release everything as a whole. But at the moment, I got asked to hold off to possibly do something again later down the line with that extra footage. So after I talk to like my partners and see what they have in mind, then I may put the whole things up. But I hope I put the whole thing up because they're so good.
Oh man, sorry. Don't know what happened there. I think I lost everybody for a second. You still there?
We saw it and it looked like you were thinking. You're like, At least it was. Oh, okay. Like I want to tell you something, JP. I put a bunch of subtle little nuances in the edits. There's one part where I'm talking and Mike's talking, and I go. And I freeze like that for like 10 seconds. But then on the very bottom of my shirt, I said, Frozen video, I intentionally left in because I'm making like the most ridiculous Frozen face ever. And it's like during a serious part. It's in the Mike Borden segment.
Oh, did that air over the Cliff Burton day? I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I totally missed that.
My Frozen part. And it's really like the most ridiculous face ever. It's frozen on, but I intentionally left it in.
Oh, man. I'm sad that I missed that. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. It says we got all of Nick, just JP froze. Oh, great. Oh man. Well, damn. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. But yeah, as I was saying, I think a long ass interview, I'd be so down to watch that. I know it takes some work and some editing and stuff like that, but I wouldn't worry too much about the length of the video because.
Oh yeah, true. And the only thing I cut is just the. Hey, all right, the introduction part where they don't realize that we're recording. I'm like, okay, let's go. And everybody kind of gets into this zone. But by the end of it, I told you I break them out of it and then we're just chatting. I'm like, dude, this is just a phone call, baby.
There you go. Yeah, because if you get people to forget that they're being interviewed, it's a lot more smooth because people's answers change, right? When they know that they're being looked at and their faces are different and stuff like that. They get really nervous. One of the best
ones was Cliff Burton's sister, Connie. And that was legit a phone call. We were having some issues with the link and like it just wasn't working too well. She wasn't also feeling well either. You kind of hear it in her voice. She had a sickness. And I was like, I can do this just over your phone. Like I'll call your phone from my computer and I'll record it. And that's why that segment is just my face, which I thought was super weird. I was like, what do I show here? Because I also said, hey, can I put like a photo of you up? And she's like, no, not really. No, I want this video of my brother. So I was like, so it's just me listening the whole time. And like, it was weird just because of my face, but I think it worked out. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it worked out. It looked good, and then you put the little voice of Connie Burton at the bottom. That's all you need.
You put the voice of Connie Burton at the bottom. You forget. You should tell everybody how we started doing the names on the bottom.
Yeah, we. So during the interview segments, there was no names of the people being interviewed, and somebody put in the chat like, you should tell us who these people are because not everybody knows who these people are. I'm like, oh, you don't recognize Jim Martin 25 years after he's famous? After he was famous?
Interview that he's done in like 20 years.
Yeah, seriously, like, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense. So I quickly had to put up some. We quickly made some name plates or whatever during the broadcast, and I was just playing them throughout the whole.
Did you do the same thing I did? Like pull up the flyer online, like try typing out the names hecka fast. I was like, crap, I can't remember at the top of my head.
You know what? I hate to say this, but I'll be honest. I didn't recognize everybody, so I was not able to type out the names of everybody. And no, I didn't think to look at the flyer. That would have been very smart. I didn't do that. No, instead I texted you. I said, "Who's yellow shirt guy?" And who's
you were like, "Who's armored assassin or armored saint guy?" I'm like,
"That so Slagle. Embarrassing, dude."
Brian Slagle.
So embarrassing. He was wearing an Armored Saint shirt. I said, "Who's Armored Saint guy?" And it was fucking Brian Slagle, the man behind Metal Blade Records. I was like, "Oh, fuck, I know who that is, but I guess I don't see his face enough.
Who was like talking to a dude that you met at Starbucks or anywhere at a metal show. Completely cool, totally down to deep dive into everything. Like I even talked about everything. I even talked about like modern day thrash metal and what he thought about it. He was like, yeah, there's some good bands that come out of California and all over the world. Gary Holt, I asked the same question. Actually, everybody, I had like kind of a list of the same questions, and I did get into modern 90s, 2000s, and present metal, but of course I couldn't include that in the broadcast. But I got everybody's perspective of the entire metal thing that happened from 82 till present day.
Yeah, which was the meat, which was really what you wanted. The meat.
But it's like I don't get a chance to talk to Gary Holt every day. It's like, dude, let me pick your brain, dude.
Yeah, why not? You got him on the line. Same with Brian Slagle. I mean, Jesus, what a name, Brian. You know what? I was curious. I would like to ask Brian Slagle about when he signed the Gugu Dolls to Metal Blade Records. Were you aware of that?
No.
So the Gugu Dolls' first record contract was with Metal Blade Records.
Were they metal?
Dude, so the original Gugu Dolls, like their sound was like hardcore punk.
Whoa.
Like they played shows with DRI and like can you believe this? Yeah. So yeah, they were like a punk band. The bass player was doing lead vocals, and then they sort of went to an alternative sound in the 90s and then became the band that we know, and actually got into a legal kind of thing with Metal Blade, I think, about royalties or something like that, because they signed a terrible contract or something like that. But I'm super curious. I'd like to ask Brian Slagle about his signing of the Gugu Dolls, because a lot of people don't know that they were on Metal Blade Records.
How funny is that actually works though, because that name transfers over into the genre that they became.
Yeah, totally. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah, Gugu Dolls. It almost sounds like a punk band, but it could be like a ballad rock kind of.
It sounds definitely like what they're saying.
If
we switched over to ballad rock, people would be like, Zombie Holocaust, what the? I mean, that doesn't even really work. So it's more ZH than anything.
Yeah, which is why you guys sort of changed to ZH. Remember, and back in the day,
it doesn't really depict our sound. We're more happy, we're lucky, and these two letters work perfect.
Exactly, because that could stand for anything.
I like the ambiguousness of it. It's just like, what does that mean? It kind of almost draws you in. It's like just Z and an H. What the hell is that supposed to mean? It's like, oh, whatever you want, dude. Zebra and horses, dude.
Oh, I like that. The ambiguousness, the ambiguosity. Is that a word?
It is not.
Gary Holt. Let's talk about Gary Holt. You got Gary Holt. I took some issue with something he said about Ride the Lightning. He said that there was some filler songs on Ride the Lightning, including the song Escape. I highly disagree with Gary Holt on here.
That out as well too, because he went off a little bit more than what I put in there. But I was like, can't have it all bad.
What else did he say? What else was he saying? I want to know.
The reason he doesn't like Escape and Metallica don't like Escape is because they were told to write a more radio-friendly song, so to kind of make it kind of poppy, and that's what they did. So that's why he doesn't like that song. And Metallica themselves don't even like that song. That was their attempt at a radio hit.
I did not know Metallica themselves did not care for the song.
Yeah, I read it in an interview somewhere that they didn't like that song themselves.
How do you guys feel about Escape? I love that song. Life's for my own, to live my own way. My heart.
It reminds me of Walking Down the Hill at Redwood.
Joe, is there any filler on Ride the Lightning?
Ride the Lightning, to be completely honest, is my least favorite of the three.
Wow.
Of the Cliff Burton ones.
What? I kind of feel the same. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means Kill 'Em All is just like so like awesome. And of course, Master Puppet being number one.
Yeah, least favorite of the three best Metallica albums.
Of my three favorite albums.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
I'm not saying it's bad, but
okay, but it's just your least favorite out of the Cliff Burton trifecta.
Yeah, but it's also throughout the years.
Third liked.
But if I put on Metallica, I don't put on that doesn't go to my mind. I'll even put on one of my personal favorites is "And Justice for All."
My number one favorite. I love it.
Yeah, I'll be throwing that on. But I was the other day, and I don't know if it was in preparation to Cliff Burton Day, but for some reason I was on YouTube. Surprise, surprise. And I was listening to just the isolated bass tracks of Cliff Burton on Ride the Lightning. And it was a lot of fun and really inspiring too. Just no drums, just the bass. And it made me kind of remember how much, like, okay, I remember thinking I do like this album a little bit more than I give credit.
Yeah. A lot of people think, just bass solo take one when they think of Cliff Burton, but they forget about his performances on all the songs where he's not doing solos. It's like, that's some solid bass work in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And coming from you, Big Joe, you pay attention to the bass. You're it's the first thing you go to, isn't it?
Yeah, normally, liking a band, I do check out a bass player. Normally, it's the rest of the band I end up falling in love with.
Sometimes there's a band I'll be wanting to show you, and I'll have to stop and be like, "Is the bass even worth sending over to Big Joe? Like, is the bass doing something cool? Does it sound really good, or is it worth sending over to Joe?" I just think about this. There's good stuff that I think you might like that I haven't sent you because the bass is boring.
Oh man, send it. I don't mind. I'm a boring bass player,
Oh, get this guy out of here.
Don't lie on the air, Joe.
Don't lie on your own show.
I'm gonna stick to it, man. Sometimes you have a job to do.
All right. Well, I don't believe you, but and you know what? Going back to Ride the Lightning. Somebody in the chat, Nick, when they were talking about filler songs on Ride the Lightning, this is the last thing I'll say about this. I'm sorry, but somebody in the chat put "Trapped Under Ice," said that was a filler song on Ride the Lightning. I wanted to punch my computer screen. I was so mad. I'm not going to say his name. I don't know who it was anyway, but I was so upset. "Trapped Under Ice"?
Such a great song.
Oh.
I mean, I disagree. There's no filler songs on that album. It's a great album front to back.
Thank you.
It just, great album. I mean, it's Cliff Burton's second masterpiece. His first being Master Puppets, not in chronological order, but in favorite order.
Favorite order, yeah. It's of course Master of Puppets. Come on.
It's just,
come on.
Everybody, almost everybody I interviewed was just like Master Puppets. I should make a clip of just Master Puppets, hands down, Master Puppets. Just slice it all together.
I mean, the song, the album is the Bible of thrash metal. The song Master of Puppets is the anthem of thrash metal. It is fucking metal, man. Like I don't know. It's like the default metal song, Master of Puppets, dude. I don't know how to explain it better than that. Yeah.
It just has so many dynamics. It goes everywhere. And it's like, if you look at it, and then now we know so much about Cliff Burton, you're like, that dude was heavily inspired by Bach. And now look at Master of Puppets, dude. It's nothing off of Kill 'Em All, dude. It's straight up a musical score. Like, it's a piece.
Yeah. Wow. I never thought of it that way. A score. Yeah. So what else? What kind of other shit did Gary Holt say that you had to cut out?
He said something hella funny. We talked about, like, I was trying to get him to talk about, like, new wave of thrash bands, even though that's like over 10 years old. That's not new wave.
I'd still love to hear what he has to say about it.
Yeah, he said something like, oh, not just the Bay Area, but all of California. They were doing something really cool. Some of them were a little bit too retro, if you know what I mean, and maybe they'll change their clothes later, but they're doing good stuff. So he straight up, like, I forgot the exact words, but he pretty much called out like the white Nikes and like the cosplay stuff that we all kind of went through back then, but
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, totally fair enough. You ain't lying, dude. You ain't lying. As now that 10 years have passed, we all kind of put down, we have to look like we're in the 80s. Like, now we're all just like, we're all older, we're all dads and stuff now. It's like, all right, cool, dude. I'm wearing my chocolate on stage.
Yeah, I'm wearing skinny jeans as we speak. But not like thrash denim skinny jeans. I'm wearing like khakis, skinny jeans right now.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with khakis. Your first show, you were wearing khakis, man.
That's right. Those were baggy khakis. Yes.
I was like, dude, these are dicky khakis. That's it. No rules, man.
Did I look like out of place? Because those were just the pants I wore that day. Like, I didn't think
place in ZH because at that point in time, none of us had like a style agenda.
That's good because, like I said, those were just the pants I wore that day. I did not go, I'm gonna wear khakis on stage with Zombie Holocaust. But then looking at the footage back, I was like, oh, I'm wearing khakis. That's that's a choice.
It's like, what metal shirt am I gonna wear today? Well, what khakis am I gonna wear today?
It's true. It's true. But hey, man, there are no rules. There are no rules, are there?
There were no rules in Zombie Holocaust. You brought to the table whatever you wanted to bring to the table. Sometimes I brought farts. You guys didn't like the farts, so we didn't put them in the album.
You did bring a lot of those, didn't you?
Tons of them. Still bringing them today.
Oh man. So yeah, man, you had some big cool names that you were able to speak to, and they added so much gravity and I should say they added so much gravitas to the event. Speaking of the event, you said eventually we're gonna bring this thing back to an in-person kind of jam. I'm curious to know how that would work. Obviously we don't want to. We can't book the event the weekend after the event just happened. But is it even? We don't know what the future holds. But in person, like, what are you thinking? Bands or a venue or like, how's it going to work?
So actually, this year was this close to being in person. Like I'm telling you, close. With what I can't say would have been a news world shaking kind of like event as far as like talent. So
it would have only worked in person is what
it would have only worked in person, of course, because of the whole blah 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 going on. We weren't able to do it, and we had to pull out last minute. We got some really, really amazing deals, and just like the community that was involved was so willing to work with us. And it broke my heart to change it. And this was like 4 weeks before the event. 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least it wasn't announced, right? Like you didn't have to change.
We were working on it, and we were already kind of weary, getting closer. We're like, maybe we shouldn't. And then we, we're like, we're gonna wait. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right. But then, what does that mean? Hey, Nick Gomez, we got this for you. 2.5 weeks. I was like, oh.
Yeah, like, you had to improvise on the spot. No.
It was pretty, yeah. I mean, it just made for some really long days of editing in front of that computer and not being able to go to the park with my boy kind of thing. But in the end, it turned out amazing. And just the gratitude that I got from everybody was like, whoa, dude, you really care about this subject. And I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, like the way I look at it is because that was a 2.5 hour documentary. I was like, dude, this was my first film. And I got to debut it live, and Metallica promoted it for me. I was like, of course I'm going to put all my heart and soul into my first film that everybody watches.
Yeah. A couple questions. Well, actually, you're right about the gratitude because, my gosh, during the chat, so many people just saying, thank you for doing this event. Like, thank you for putting this together. Like, it is so cool to see because a lot of people who were actually part of Cliff's life, were watching and in the comments saying thank you, and that, oh my God, that must have felt amazing.
The full thing that really feels amazing, I mentioned in that broadcast, I was like, I'm finding out more so about Cliff Burton than I've ever known, and what I really actually find out is that he surrounded himself with genuine people, so much so that like people in his life call me and talk and say hello and are friends with me now. And it's like, dude, I'm friends with Cliff Burton's friends. Like, this is like kind of surreal, dude. Like, when I first started talking to Corrine is his girlfriend, and she's a total sweetheart. I was like, I just wanted to let you know the level of excitement I have because what's your favorite book? She said her favorite book. I was like, well, my favorite book is To Live Is to Die. So imagine the character in your favorite book calling you on the phone and talking to you. Like, that's why I'm excited to talk to you every day, because I've been reading about you since I was a little kid.
Wow, man. Wow.
It's pretty tight. Wow. And the other thing that's so touching, huge. And like, you'll understand, JP, it's from our town, dude. When Mike Borden's telling me these stories about Payless and the burrito shop across from Payless and the creek behind Earl Warren, I'm like laughing with joy. And I'm like, I'm only laughing because those are the places I went as a kid. Like, I know those places, dude. And I want to say one more thing about walking around Castro Valley. Cliff Burton's favorite place in Castro Valley to eat was McDonald's and Taco Bell. JP and Joe, you know how close I live to both of those places. The fastest way from Cliff Burton's house to Taco Bell is on my street.
That's right. That's right. that frontage road. Yeah.
That dude was walking in front of my house, dude.
Wow.
The fastest
totally
way
right.
back and forth, dude. Even if he was driving, the fastest way is to take that street right there. Dude.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about. That road right there goes directly from my house to Cliff Burton's house. We lived less than a half a mile away from each other before he died.
That's wow, man. Right. Yeah, but by the way, folks, we're going to be putting up Nick's home address here. So
He'll be right at the bottom.
Yeah, if you want to go check it out for yourself, we'll have Nick's home address in a minute here. Yeah, needless to say, any time Castro Valley gets mentioned, I get a weird little tingle in my spine. It's very cool. Hearing Mike Borden talk about like, oh, you know, when we were over by Gem Court and this and that, I was like, oh, Gem Court, I fucking know where that is, but nobody else does, and nobody cares about this except me. Oh, that's great. Here we got Ruben, my man, who is on the broadcast, as I mentioned previously. Nick gave me a Cliff Burton tour of Castro Valley, and I loved every minute of it. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, lots of cool things, little memorials here and there on Castro Valley. Where'd you take him? You took him to Marshall Elementary, I imagine, where there's a memorial for Cliff Burton. Was there anywhere else you took him? What are the Castro Valley stops one must take? If there are any more than that.
I know right now, like, let me think. Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I know I have a great photo of Ruby and me and Ruby hugging at the Cliff Burton Memorial, and it comes on my Google little screen all the time, so I see all the time. Ruby, hello, Ruby.
So cute.
You know what? We should take a moment just to say how amazing Ruben was and Omar on Cliff Burton Day.
Yes.
Ruben, I'm gonna throw you under the bus, but he was a little nervous to do it, just a little bit. I had to talk about.
Well, I mean, of course, dude. Like you're playing pulling teeth on Cliff Burton Day in front of his friends and family.
I said if someone would have asked me to do it, I would say no.
No, me too. Yeah, absolutely not. No fucking way. But he fucking nailed it. I know you're watching.
So, dude, the comments blew up again with him, dude. Him and Tristan, everybody was just like, "Fuck yeah, get our teeth pulled!" Like, dude, this rules.
Yeah. Shout out to Tristan too. How did Tristan get involved? So he won like a scholarship. What was it? It was the a scholarship. Explain that. Okay, because I'm just fumbling right now.
To anybody watching, I have to clarify that the Castro Valley or the Cliff Burton Scholarship Fund is what it's actually called. Isn't just Castro Valley High. It's like it's worldwide. Like the Cliff Burton family scours the internet and looks for people that they want to bless with financial contributions towards their craft. And he is from a different state. I kept saying he's from Castro Valley, and he never changed it or anything. He just was like, all right, cool, I'm down. And he is the most recent scholarship recipient.
That's amazing. And he performed Orion in full on the broadcast. It was spot on.
I think he
crowd
added
was going nuts.
That was amazing too.
Oh, was he doing some? Was he putting some spice on it?
Yeah, that was like a little bit of sugar and spice. I was like, damn, man. He was so good.
The chat was absolutely blowing up too.
That was the fastest the chat was moving when he was playing. It was like it was so hard for us to post those comments, dude.
Oh man, I'm so stoked for him because God, can you imagine? And Ruby too, man, because I've never called him Ruby before. That's rubbed off on me now that you called him Ruby a couple times, and now I'm calling him Ruby. But I was so happy for Tristan and Ruben and Omar, and that's nerve-wracking. But they did it.
Joe, if we're doing another live stream, I think you're up next, dude. What song you want?
I already had to do that, and I know that I know that anxiety for the first the first year of Cliff Burton Day. You know, we were at that music school, and we performed and did we just did some stuff, and then the moment hit me like when I got there early and no one was there. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a thing, and then people started showing up, and the next thing you know, it was like a lot of people showed up, and then the moment hit me like, oh my God, like I'm the bass player here representing a bass player's fucking I'm here like the only bass player performing today on Cliff Burton Day. And I almost had like a panic attack. Just that hit me really hard. And my son was in the audience, and everything. So it was a very special moment, going like, man, dude, I get to be here to do this. And I don't know if I could do it again. I mean, I know I wouldn't be able to do bass solo or Orion without peeing or pooping myself. You know, I mean, I think you got to pass the torch on to somebody else. I already paid my dues.
To be fair, you paid your dues twice, so
yeah,
that's true. Yeah, you did.
But the first year was the craziest though. Where it hit me, the world hit me, going, oh my god, like look at this, like I hid in my van.
Yeah, and that first year, I wasn't there, but if I remember correctly, the room was just a little bigger than a shoebox. If I remember correctly, so
it was like a size 11 shoebox, to be fair.
Okay, so it's a very intimate setting. So, and also, Joe, I didn't read any article the next day or anything that said, bass player completely disrespects Metallica songs on Cliff Burton Day video in parentheses. No, I didn't see that, so you couldn't have been that bad. So good job, man.
No, I mean everything worked out fine, but just realizing, like,
of course it did. Come on.
Like, whoa.
Yeah,
there was
heavy.
A lot of pressure.
Scary.
So Ruben, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they both nailed it, didn't they, Nick?
Crushed it. And I put it in. I wasn't sure. You asked me. You're like, is the timeline going to be exactly the same? But I switched it around because I wanted to correlate with the music with the year that we were talking about. So Tristan was after 86. Ruben was around 82.
That was very smart, and I liked how you changed it without telling me 1 minute before the broadcast started. Because like up to the minute of the show, I was like, so the itinerary is pretty much how it's going to be, right? And he was like, yep. And it was like, okay, so the schedule, this is pretty still up to date, right? He's like, yeah, I might move this with this. I'm like, okay. And then right when we went live, it was as if he crumpled it up and threw it out.
Everything in between the documentary part was all like, I'm going to do this now. Let's do this. JP,
it worked though. The flow, whatever your vision was in your head, it worked out fine because the flow felt very natural. So everything was everything went well. But that's why I was there to be that little bitch for you.
See, no, don't even say that. Let me explain my level of anxiety first, and then my level of calmness. So the anxiety was last year. It was 100% live.
Yeah.
And I was the host, so I was engaging with the interviewees, and I was doing all the switching and pulling up the photos and the bottom line stuff, everything. And dude, at the end of the event, I literally went downstairs, laid on the floor, and didn't move. Like just like whatever that anxiety overload was, just knocked me out. I just like laid as my son played. I was like, I need your energy to heal me because this was like too much.
Oh my gosh.
Now, so the reason why I asked you is because it is so nerve-wracking, and I don't know why, but just to press that play button, because so JP had his segment of stuff that he was pressing play on, and unfortunately the documentary I had to press play on because it was too big to play in the software or something like that. So even when it was my time, those are the two times where I messed up and I kept going, oh, sorry guys, it's a live show. I'm just pressing a button, dude. Like, why is that so scary? But so this is how I felt, JP, seeing your photo, your professionally framed up image, and your face there. When I go on stage at a concert and it's quiet and the whole crowd's expecting me to say something for the first time, I have the microphone, it's just me. That's one of the worst feelings in the world, so much so that it's one of the biggest fears of public speaking by yourself. But then when I look to my right, my left, and behind me, and I have my dudes behind me, professional ass dudes that I trust, all that anxiety is gone. And then I'm ridiculous Nicholas Gomez on stage of Zombie Holocaust, and I have no fears. So having you with me that day, that's when I was ridiculous Nicholas Gomez, and I had no fears because you were there. So that's why I kept saying, dude, I need you. I just need you to press this button, dude. Just press one button. Even if you don't press buttons, if you're there, I just need you there.
Well, I'm so glad that I was able to be there because I had a great time, and it was and honestly honored to be a part of it. It's Cliff Burton Day. It's going to be a worldwide thing, and I'm just I'm happy to help out any way I can. You're my boy, one of my best boys of all time. Cliff Burton from my hometown, Metallica, one of my favorite bands. What the hell? Do the math, okay? I have to be there. So, thank you so much again.
Definitely. Thank you for making it smooth. How special was it to be able to watch it live with Mike Board? And that's like as if we worked on something and then we're like, hey, did you want to watch this with me? And then we got to watch it with them. Yeah.
Oh, and I got to talk about the Warriors a little bit with Mike Board too.
You notice how he was like watching, I think, the Olympics too the whole time. He was like, oh, yeah. So putting it out there, I never listened to Faith No More as a kid. I was into Korn, even though there's a correlation there, but it just, that their peak was the 90s, and I was listening to different music back then. Anyways,
Same.
I dived into them after Cliff Burton Day last year, like a month after. The Real Thing album is a perfect album, up there with Master of Puppets, and it quickly became one of my favorite bands. So it's like, have you dived into them, dude? They're so amazing.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm familiar with Angel Dust.
That's a good one. That's the next one afterwards.
I think it was their follow-up. Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of, I believe, when the band like fell apart, kind of. Well, not fell apart, but
like it's good to listen to those right next to each other. Have you listened to The Real Thing with Epic and like?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Dude, I keep biting my lip when I'm hanging out with, or not hanging out, but talking to him. I want to deep dive into Faith No More so bad. And even when we were on the chat, me and you and him talking, I was like, so ask him like one Faith No More question. Dude didn't even look at it. He was just like,
Well, it's that I do find that a little surprising because Mike, I don't know him that well. I only met him Thursday, really. But he doesn't seem like a closed book at all. He seemed pretty willing to speak about whatever. But he also seems kind of like a private guy too, in a way. So I don't want to cross a line,
Like when it's your own successes, you kind of get weird about it. You don't really want to talk about it. Like you don't want someone fanboying over you. But if you want to talk about your best friend from Castro Valley, dude, he's just like, dude, everything, let's go.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I'm here like, oh, he's an open book, but not about everything. Nobody is, So, but God, he's fucking nice. What a night! If he was on the show, I'd say, hey, thanks for coming on the show. And then after he'd leave the room, I'd say to Joe, wow, what a guy. What a nice guy.
What a nice guy.
What a guy. What a nice guy. If he were to be on the show.
And their bass player is phenomenal too. If you ever check out like the stuff that he's laying down, he's like, dude, he's sick. He like slap and pop kind of thing. Like,
yes, they were funky. Joe, Faith No More bass?
I haven't gotten into it as much as Nick has been describing. But I'd say just recently I've been giving them a more of a listen due to my son, Jaden, getting into music and being bit by the music bug. So he's pulling it up. So I'm like, all right, yeah, dude. Like I, enjoy the funky bass lines because I like sneaking that into my thrash metal too,
we need to have a segment, Joe, where we sort of talk about what your boy's been listening to this week. Because I know he's been, as you said, bit by the music bug, and we've talked about this enough times to where it's like, let's what the hell's he been listening to?
What's he chewing on this week?
What's Jaden chewing on this week? Maybe next week we can, or the week after or something, we can get a little segment going on with see what your boy's been listening to, and then we can talk about it. What do you say?
That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, if we could get him to do it.
Okay, well, he doesn't have to be there if he doesn't want to. You can just tell me what he's been listening to, and we can talk about it. Jaden, he doesn't like our show, does he?
I think he'd rather just be playing Dead by Daylight and
that's totally fair.
Talking to his homies on his Xbox.
I ain't mad at him.
I do remember when he was on the show, called in. That was pretty cool. I remember where I was at exact moment.
That was the most awkward minute of the show's history.
He realized what was happening, like, because he's a funny kid too, and like he's like me. Once you turn it on, like he's like, all right, the ridiculous Nicholas turns on, and I don't think I sent him the link with no
content.
Yeah, so he just clicks on, and the next thing you know, he's on the show, and he's like, wait, what?
That was like, rude, though. That's rude. You should have told him.
But that's my style, I'm like, hey, let's go do this. And the next thing you know, he's like on a stage.
Okay, fair enough. Well, at least he's down. He's down.
He's talked about coming back on before, though. He's like, oh, that was cool.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well, all right. You pitch him the idea and see how he thinks about it. Will you do that?
I definitely will.
Okay, good. Anyway, back on track here. It was great to meet Mike and great to hear his insight. And Jim Martin, as well, as we talked about, doesn't do interviews ever. You were able to pin him down for some words about Cliff. How did that all come together? How were you able to get Jim Martin?
He is friends with Cliff Burton family, and they reached out, and it was, it wasn't his thing. As we all know, he doesn't do very many interviews, and he's very private about Cliff. And it's I completely respect this. It's like, that's your stories, your life, your friend. Like, you don't have to tell me anything. And I was just stoked. Like, I sent him over like a list of questions. And the person who was helping facilitate it was like, he just threw those questions out. He was like, nope, 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 nope. And then they mentioned like he's going to give his own statement. He's going to talk about, his own thing. And he, watching the whole interview, because his was also chopped down quite a bit too. He did answer some of my questions, because I had a story in mind that I wanted to tell. More about Cliff's mother and Cliff's brother, Scott, Jan and Scott, who we don't hear much about. And what the story unveils is that they were huge influences on who he was as a person, more so than, Motorhead and Iron Maiden was, kind of thing, which we all think, because no one ever deep dives into Cliff Burton. No. I want to say that essentially this is Cliff 'em All 2, the deep dive.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
But I couldn't put any Metallica music into it because, copyright infringement. So JP totally caught on instantly what I snuck in there to make the music work.
Some stuff that you own.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only thing that I won't get the copyright, because I did, as soon as we started playing the live, I started getting the copyright emails from Twitch and Facebook, because the intro had Metallica music, but it was live music. I thought we'd be able to fly under the radar, but we didn't. So I haven't watched it on Twitch or Facebook, but I think they changed the music or silenced it, but they at least sent me emails about it.
Yeah. So if you turn off like video on demand on your Twitch, you won't get those dings, but you won't be able to watch them later. But they only stay on Twitch for 2 weeks anyway, right? So yeah, I think if you turn off video on, anyway, we could talk about this off the air. We're just talking about technical shit now. But YouTube, I think, should be fine, which is really the important
YouTube didn't send me anything. Like, I still have, and I didn't even get the little copyright thing in the corner after it's uploaded. So YouTube's good.
Perfect.
But
thank you, YouTube.
Jim Martin was he did it on his own time, which was cool, because it actually made for a really nice, touching interview. Yeah. And it was all I can say really is it wasn't easy getting him involved. So that level of appreciation I have that he was involved is like super high gratitude, because he actually was there. And like, I was scrolling through Facebook just randomly, and I saw like Faith No More website with me and Mike's photo, and it just said Jim Martin and Mike Borden talk Cliff Burton, and they're just going off on how it was like the first time Jim Martin talked in a long time. So like, even just having him on it was so much more legendary. And I also didn't put him on the flyer too, because I thought it would be more impactful that you're watching and you're like, is that Jim Burton or Jim Martin? Because people in the comments were saying, where's Fatso? Where's Jim? Where's Martin?
Wow, man. You said it. He doesn't do many interviews. When I was looking around, I kind of got curious. I wanted to just look around for Jim Martin stuff after Thursday, and I think the last interview that I could find of him was from 2012.
Dang.
And that one was a long time coming. He's like, all right, fine, I'm going to do this interview and answer questions about Faith No More, because people have been asking me about it since 1992 when I left. You know what I mean? So the guy never does interviews. So I didn't look very hard, but like, I don't think he's done really an interview since 2012. First of all, it's a shame that your questions got thrown out, but it's also nice that some of them were inadvertently answered, which is good. You could really see in his eyes how tough it was to talk about Cliff. First of all, how awkward it might have been for him to be doing an interview. You could sort of sense that. But as I said, in his eyes, talking about Cliff is not easy at all. And I want something to go back to what you said earlier. Maybe these stories about Cliff, he doesn't want to say because they're his. Joe, you talked about this recently. You said, I didn't want to take pictures at this thing because, no, that memory is just for me. You know what I mean? Like, that was just for us. Because, a picture's fine and everything, but maybe not take a picture. Like, this memory was just for right now, just for me. I imagine Jim Martin probably has a lot of those memories where, like, these are mine. You know what I mean? And, like, but at the same time, people hearing him talk about Cliff was so rewarding. I know people were so happy to hear him talk about Cliff. So it was really nice of him to sort of bite the bullet and talk about something that's super uncomfortable that he did not have to talk about at all. You know what I mean? Because it's his choice, And I just thought it was just a just a whopper of a guest, man.
Yeah, and everything he said was super powerful too. Which is, and like the silence before he spoke, after he spoke, the way he like looked away at the end of it after he said his final piece. It's just like, I mean, Cliff impacted everybody he knew, even if they just knew him for a second. They impacted him. But imagine Jim and Mike, people who he grew up with as childhood friends, and they all had goals to rule the world through music, and they all did. But unfortunately, one of them wasn't able to survive through those promises. So just like talking about this ain't easy for these dudes. So I'm like super thankful they actually do. I always tell Mike, like, thank you for telling me anything you tell me, because it means the world to me to hear. But I know it means so much for you to share it with me.
Wow, good, well said. And so much of Mike and Jim's careers, their peaks happened after Cliff. You know what I mean?
Even Cliff's peaks happened after Cliff too.
Right. And so I can't imagine the bittersweet taste of achieving what they did and getting to the peak of where they were, but never got to share it with Cliff. You know what I mean? Their best friend from Castro Valley. It's just heartbreaking, man.
A lot of people during the interview said the analogy of going to war, because they were going to war overseas, carrying the metal flag, and they did win the war, but not everybody came back. So it's like, that's how a lot of people describe it. It's like, damn, that makes sense, because, you know, you go put your life into this thing and not everybody's going to come back at the end of it. And unfortunately, it was Cliff.
Fuck, man. Wow. Yeah, man, when you put it that way, that's, I mean, it's heavy to begin with, man. But, man, big thanks to Jim Martin. I know you're watching. Sorry.
He's in the chat right now. I think he's texting me.
Yeah,
he says right on 50.
Speaking of the chat, let's see what's going on here. We got my boy Jay. What's going on? Mike Patton, such a great vocalist. Agree.
Agreed.
Guys, just huge, massive. Dan Souza. The man, Dan the Man Souza. Damn, I just came across my old 79 and 1980 Palladium yearbooks that I snagged from Castro Valley High School. Wish it was in time for Cliff Burton Day. Have to share them next year. Oh, please do. So Cliff is up in those yearbooks? Is that what Dan is suggesting here?
I think Dan has like 3 of the yearbooks of Cliff, or maybe even all 4. His senior year, he didn't have a senior portrait, but he's in one of the side notes looking down. It says like Cliff Burton reads the announcement or something like that. So he's in all 4 yearbooks, just not senior portrait photo.
Oh my gosh, Dan Souza, if you're still there, how did you get those? How did you get those old yearbooks?
You guys didn't know Dan's class, CVHS class of 79.
Man, he old. I thought I was older than him. He old. Let's see what's going on here. He says to check the morning after email. I'm gonna have Dominique do that. Thank you. Yeah. So Nick, next year, same day, same time.
It depends. I mean, I really want a live event. I would like to do it. My ideal event would be at Lake Chabot, free to the public, music, food, barbecue, family comes out, not just metal, all kinds of different stuff, maybe a couple stages, absolutely free. And if it is an event, it probably has to be on a Saturday. And if Cliff Burton's birthday is not on Saturday, so I might switch it.
You might maybe move it up. Okay, here's that photo. Thank you, Dominique. Below, Cliff Burton places his order for graduation announcements. Look at that. Wow. So that's from 79? Maybe?
Maybe. I don't know.
We got another one here. Oh, my gosh.
I think it's junior year.
Look at my man. Wow. Castro Valley High School. Oh, man. Yeah. Get these for next year, man. Get these for next year. Awesome. Thank you, Dan. Perfect. And thank you for sending anything to the mailbag. Folks, if you want to send something to the mailbag, send us an email at morningaftertv@gmail.com. You got something interesting you want to show us, put it there. Good times. Dominique will have a look at it. She'll show us. We'll put it on the air. I don't care what it is. Thank you. Yeah, thanks again, Dan. Beautiful.
Thank you, Dan Souza.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, so Saturday would be nice. But yeah, man, that just sounds like a great time, like a in a park situation. It would be a day on the green, if you will. You like how I did that? So if you say day on the green, massive amounts of old white people will appear. It's great. So maybe you can. Is that being used? What's the statute of limitations on something like that?
I don't know. Maybe the copyright is expired now.
It's got to expire at some point, right?
It does. Everything. Yeah. Hopefully, it's public domain.
Get on that. We got a suggestion here. You guys should have a live event and an online event. That's interesting.
That is a great idea. Yeah. I think we can actually do that. Live broadcast the event.
That would be great because, as you said, so many people came to the event from all over the world. A lot of people from South America, you said, and all that. That'd be really cool to live stream the event. We have an answer from Dan about the yearbook. I worked at Castro Valley High School over a couple summers doing custodian work. I didn't know that. I saw them sitting there on a bookshelf and realized they had 2 Cliff years, so I just grabbed them. Wow. The balls on this guy.
Nice.
Is that your boy?
He's down here. Want to say what's up? Yeah. He says nope.
That's totally cool. We're talking about Castro Valley.
You know JP and Big Joe, you talked about that? What?
What? You don't know me no more? That's messed up, bro.
You talked to him all day.
No, I don't.
Here, just give him a piece. Give him Gary.
No.
No, okay, maybe a little bit. Oh. Maybe a little bit later he'll warm up. He's always saying what's up to you guys in Marco Polo's.
That's yeah, he did. I love that. Man, you sent me one, and he said, "Hey, here's my son," and he said, "Hey, what's up? Have you been to Castro Valley?" Oh, so cute. Yeah, Ruben says he just borrowed them. Talking about Dan and the yearbooks, we have to clarify that he just borrowed them.
Borrowed.
Just borrowed them. Yes, good call, Coach Lore. The online for international peeps, but also disabled. Good call. All right, well, very excited. Nick, what man? Is there anything anything dirty that you wanted to tell us? Anything that maybe Gary Holt said that you didn't want to share before we say goodbye to you?
No. I mean, everybody said good things. I think I'll have to go back and watch all the 2-hour interviews and see. I'll let you see the cutting room floor stuff.
I don't want to. I don't want to be an instigator, but I love a bit of drama. I will say so.
No, unfortunately, no drama in CBD day, or the D's are in CBD. So I don't know. Next year, hopefully, bigger, longer, stronger, and I don't know. It's cool.
Bigger,
and then
longer,
I'll see
stronger.
Big Joe, and I'll be like, Joe, here's your GoPro, dude. You want this thing back?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that thing.
Is that really?
I've had this since the first violation wound video. It's been sitting
GoPro,
here.
Joe?
This is legit Joe GoPro.
Oh man!
He has a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses too that are probably long gone, huh?
Nope, those are in my car, hanging out, dude, in my glasses case.
Well, they're in a case though. Okay, they're not getting all warped by the sun.
That's right. I found those anyways. Every time I've had Ray-Bans, I've owned 2, and I found them.
Well, I got them safe for you, dude.
Beautiful.
And also, can I say before I get the boot, I think the next guest coming up should be the one and only Mr. Travis Grayson.
Travis Grayson. Now, nobody watching this show might know who Travis Grayson is, but Travis Grayson is a very special fella from the Bay Area. He appeared on Zombie Holocaust's last album, entitled To Enlightenment, on a sort of a secret track at the end. He's sort of a mystery. I've known him for over a decade now, and I don't know enough about the guy. Maybe I should have him on the show. Why? What brings you to suggest bringing Travis on the show? I must ask.
The cool thing is, recently when I was in town filming for Cliff Burton Days, the B-roll, he joined me. So he was filming me while I was filming stuff, and we're just chatting and everything. But it's like, this dude is like so incredibly talented. He's been involved with 2 of our plays, 1 of our albums, 90 of our shows. Like he's been on stage with us, like performing with us. He's been on our albums. He was in the plays. He sings like an angel. And he's
he does.
He also has the mystery to eternal youth, because I just saw him recently. He got even younger.
He looks
I don't know
amazing,
how he did it,
man.
but I was like, dude, how are you getting younger, dude?
I don't want to get into his age, but I remember when I first met him and I did find out how old he was. Everybody was like,
right.
How old?
He legit got younger, dude. He looks like amazing. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? He's like, I don't know, man, just living, dude.
I feel bad because when I did find out his age, I remember sort of like bringing everybody over, be like, hey, you know how old this guy is? Tell him how old you are. You know, everybody in the room is looking at him now. I feel bad about that. But Travis is fucking cool as a cucumber, man. He didn't care. Yeah, I'd love to have him on the show. You know, he texted me a link to something at like 2 a.m. a couple nights ago, and I forgot to text him back. So I feel terrible about that. I'm gonna have to hit him back. Thank you for reminding me. Nick, is there anything you want to plug before we say goodbye, buddy?
No, man, that's it, really. Shout out to all the homies. Shout out to we already did, I guess. No, I think we're golden, dude.
Where are the homies? Shout out to the homies. Guys, follow Nick Gomez on Instagram at Gomez Grip. Is there an underscore in there? It's just Gomez Grip.
No,
right?
No one wants Gomez Grip as a name because if you Urban Dictionary it, you see what the meaning is. So.
Folks, everyone go Urban Dictionary Gomez Grip. See what that. I was interested and I saw it. I was surprised. I didn't know. I had never heard of it.
They named the move after me. It's weird. I mean, I was doing it for a long time, and they were just like, I know whose move that is.
Somebody spilled the beans about your move, and it became
keep it a secret, Ruben.
Oh boy! Well, follow the man at Gomez Grip. Follow the band at ZH Rocks. Of course, Nick Gomez, the chief of Zombie Holocaust, along with Dan Souza. Two chiefs, co-chiefs. Is that a thing?
I like
co-chief. Yeah, Dan and Nick, co-chiefs. But check out Zombie Holocaust at ZH Rocks. Still kicking. And yeah, man, and thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for recapping that wonderful event. Thank you for doing that wonderful event and allowing me to be a part of it. Please come back onto the show at any time. The seat is always open.
Definitely. I'll be there, and I'll also be in the chats, dudes.
Joe, did you want to bark at Nick before we say goodbye? Is there anything you wanted to bark at him?
Just want him to know, and he knows this, that I love the man. He's a great dude, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you for being you, Joe.
And don't send me back my GoPro with some weird photos because I know I know what your package looks like, so I know it's going to be yours.
It looks different now, I swear, dude. It's getting older.
Getting some tips from Travis, huh?
Yep. Don't send it back with photos of the Gomez Grip.
That I wouldn't mind if you want to demonstrate that.
Yeah, okay, to see it in action. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a much better in person, but on video it's okay too.
Okay. All right, Nick, get out of here, man. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Thanks, man.
There he goes. And he's gone. What a guy.
Boom. What a nice guy.
Man, what a guy. What a guy. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. Have we ever had a not nice guy on the show, Joe?
They're all nice guys, JP.
They've all been nice guys. Who was the least nice guy that we've had? It's got to be me.
No, it's Dog. That Dog, he was just a little bit too aggressive for me, man.
Oh, that's right. See, now Dog, yeah, he's aggressive. I feel like Dog, of course, Dog the Bounty Hunter, one of our alumni. He was on the show, episode 40-something. Don't know. Dog the Bounty Hunter, one of my favorite guests. However, yes, you're right, Joe. He was very aggressive. I don't think he was mean, but if you get on the wrong side of him,
if you're on the wrong side of the tracks, you're gonna get mowed down.
You're gonna get mowed down with these. He was very adamant about the power of his fists and his bare hands and what he could do with them. So anyway, thanks again, Nick Gomez. Love you, buddy. It's been a great time having you on the show, as always. Whoa. This is great. I love whoever, oh my God, this is great. Whoever's spamming the chat with this, I love you. Thank you. JP, why you scam me on your OnlyFans?
You got an OnlyFans, JP, that we don't know about?
I guess. Oh, I love it. Yeah.
You never scam me.
Don't spam the chat, though, red-faced sister. I appreciate you. Don't spam the chat. Don't spam the chat. Let other people get in there. Whoa, are you giving out your OnlyFans, JP? Okay, it's getting out of hand. Now send us that OnlyFans link. Okay, come on, guys, stop it. Stop it.
You're going to be up there with Bonded by Blood.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, did they get that going or what?
I don't know, man. I never looked.
Yeah, neither have I. I'm kind of afraid. Kind of afraid. Thank you, Red-Faced Sister, for joining the broadcast. Even if it was in such a strange manner. Yeah, I guess I'll get an OnlyFans going if the people want it. JPOF, I'll do it. This is great. Can I get a refund? I have a stuttering problem. I love it. Yeah, Dominique will send you a something, invoice, or what's the opposite of an invoice? A refund. Thank you for joining us. All right. Well, hey, man, that was fun having Nick on the show. It's been a while. It's been about 2 months, I think, and I just like having him on. There's no shortage of things to talk about, is there?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely got a lot of history with that guy. And you know what? One day he's going to have the title of Cliff Burton historian.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, this is going to be a thing one day. Cliff Burton historian. Because as I said, this thing is going to grow. It can only grow. It can't get smaller. It's going to be a worldwide thing, and soon enough we'll know Nick as a, filmmaker, rock and roller, and just the premier Cliff Burton historian. Because as far as I know, there's nobody else digging around as much as Nick is at this moment. Maybe, I don't know the history of what's been released as far as biographies and studies and stuff like that. But at this moment, Nick Gomez is doing the work. So, yeah, he is the official historian of Cliff Burton as far as I'm concerned. I like how, somebody said Castro Valley sounded like elegant hillbillies. I fucking love that. Dude, I wrote that down. I love that so much. An elegant hillbilly. Yeah, great show. So that was fun. Can't wait till next year, February 10th. Maybe it'll be on a different day. But the official Cliff Burton day is February 10, which is Cliff's birthday. He would have been 60. Would have been 60, man. Would that have made him the oldest Metallica member?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know how old the other guys are.
I'm curious about that. How old are the rest of the boys? James is 58. Lars is 58. Kirk is 59. And Robert's definitely not 60. Oh, he's 57. Fuck. I didn't realize Robert was so close in age with the rest of the guys. Yeah, so Cliff would have been the oldest Metallica member. Still is 60 years old, man. That's a big one. What are you going to do when you're 60, Joe? Skydive?
Probably not. They wouldn't let my big ass on a little plane like that.
Yeah, they would. If they let George H.W. Bush skydive when he was like 80, they'd let you at 60.
Yeah, but he's a skinny little twig.
Yeah, but he was brittle. He was built like dry spaghetti.
We'll see. If you go with me, we're going skydiving at 60.
Okay, that's definitely not going to happen. So just forget it.
Well, fuck. Like, man,
I'm not a skydiver.
Kind of excited. Get excited there.
Well,
you'll do an OnlyFans, but you won't go skydiving. Gotcha.
Shit, you got me. All right. Well, hey, if we're both 60, and you do it, hey, if you do it, I'll do it. I'll skydive if you skydive, man.
There we go. It's
all right.
Set.
Everybody, write this down. Who's taking notes? If
Dominique.
if we get to 60, and nothing's stopping us, we're fucking skydiving. You get that, Dominique? Happy Valentine's Day. You look great.
Ooh.
Anyway. Okay. Well, hey, man, it's been a great show. What do you say we wrap it up?
I'm down with that.
Sounds great. Get some breakfast, some lunch, some tea, some coffee.
Ooh, a little
it's
bit
about
of everything.
lunchtime. Folks out there, it's lunchtime, okay? That means it's time to say goodbye to JP and Big Joe. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Remember, we have a new URL. You might have already figured that out. But check us out at twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe. Got it? Twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe. Twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe. That is the new URL, guys. We're not doing Young Pope TV anymore. It was fun while it lasted, but the Young Pope era is officially over. Twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. Next week, we got another show coming right up. So we'll see you live here on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe. Joe, is there anything else you want to talk about? Is there anything you want to plug before we say goodbye to the peeps? I'm sorry I said the peeps. I'm not going to do that anymore. That didn't sound. It sounded like a verbal typo. It came out just like it just felt very strange. Is there anything you'd like to say to our wonderful people? Anything you'd like to plug before we say goodbye?
Well, morning after, fam.
That's even worse.
No, I have nothing right now. Nothing going on that's noteworthy. You know, just keeping my head down. And I always enjoy doing this with you. And thank you for everyone who's interacting in that chat, man. It helps. It makes the show.
Redface's OnlyFans cousin. Thanks to you too. We got
a couple
girl.
Of them now. Like, get that shit, girl.
We got a couple funny people in the chat. Love them. So yeah, as Joe said, thanks to all of you hanging out in the chat. Makes the show so much more fun. Sometimes it's awkward. Got nothing to talk about, and then you guys pop in with something. It's like, oh yes, let's talk about that. So thank you so much, all 6,000 of you watching. We'll be back again next week, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/JP and Big Joe. All right, so for Big Joe, I'm JP, and we will see you next week. Have a nice one, and toodaloo. We're going to get a new sign-off. We're still trying to figure that out. Love, peace, and chicken grease was one we were kicking around, but it didn't really work out. And then I forgot what I said last week. I think I just gave like an awkward peace sign with my crooked finger. But until then, we'll figure it out. All right, so we'll see you guys next week. All right, guys, see you later.